is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Wondrous Life. It has been a while. It is now currently, we are in a new year. We are currently in March, 3 months in, and that's wild already to think about. So, I'm just excited to be able to just get to recording again. It's been a while. Going into this, I had the intention to do once a month, but life has been lifing, and there's been some shifts, changes, which kind of put I won't say a setback, but again, I'm really wanting to be intentional in this, so my energy shifted and required me to put it into other spaces, other things. So now that I'm transitioning and resetting, I'm able to start vlogging again. So I'm super excited to get this episode started, and yeah. All right, so I guess get your tea, grab your water, grab your juice, grab whatever it is that you sip on, and just vibe with me, connect with me. This episode, this vlog, this sit down, this reflection is really looking into like the purpose of this vlog and like the why I decided to start this journey, and really just dive in. I know throughout the first two episodes I've talked a little bit about it, and this I just really wanted to take and honor the full purpose, and kind of just give that intention and what it is, the intentionality of what I'm envisioning or seeing, and all that fun stuff. So I've been in a space of where I felt like the last few years I've been kind of in this like bubble or this hermit, right? If you want to look at it from that lens, I've been in kind of this hermit phase of really learning and understanding myself, who I am, likes, dislikes, healing, shedding layers, all these different like aspects. And it's not to say that I'm not still doing that, but I think I've been in a space of isolation, and not in a way that was unhealthy or not good for my health, right? But in a way that just really allowed me to do some deep diving and inner work and all these different pieces. So I feel like that's where I've been in the past like 3+ years. And once I turned 28, yes, it was something about the year that just felt like the energy in which I'm embracing and moving into is this aspect of like making myself big, right? And shifting away from constantly making myself small. So this vlog is really me making myself big, and no longer putting a dim on my light, my heart, my spirit, right? But really intentionally like showing myself, most importantly, and you all, whoever's on this journey with me, that I don't have to dim my light for anyone, that I don't have to be afraid of my voice, of my gifts, right? All these different pieces. So this vlog is really a gift to myself, and a gift to those that are watching, a gift to future generations, right? Kind of like this documentation piece that I'm able to pass down and gift to future generations as well, which I find is super beautiful. I find that super beautiful. So ultimately this serves as this like just self-exploration of expansion and what it means to like I've been saying, what it means to live a wondrous life, and how to get there, right? Knowing that we're all on our own journey, right? You're all on your own wondrous journey, and you will begin to make meaning out of that in a way that feels right for you. But this is just my aspect of just my story, my journey. And again, this is really for myself at the end of the day, which is why this is so intentional, which is why I'm not so pressed for like pushing videos out. And I'm not pressed for that. You know, you can like, subscribe, not like, subscribe, right? Support is always appreciated. But again, I'm doing this for me. And I think if I can remember that and hold that intention in my heart, like that is going to be so powerful throughout this process. Because again, it really is showing myself that those ideas, those visions, those things that I have for myself, that I can trust it. So, so that's ultimately, you know, one of the biggest reasons. And I don't know, there's something about this creative process and documenting that I think is so powerful. And also the power of being able to pass things down to future generations. So that's kind of like, again, like a big purpose and one of those big intentions as to like why I'm diving into this. And I guess too, where I can start is like just sharing a little bit of who I am. Again, you'll get to know who I am throughout this entire process. But again, like ultimately, you know, this is a journey of Afro-Indigenous, through an Afro-Indigenous lens. And so I identify as Afro-Indigenous, and I've been on this journey of understanding what that even means for me and what that looks like, right? We all identify in so many different ways, there's so many different words. And you know, so my ancestry, I'm Bahamian, so shout out to all my Bahamians out there. Shout out to all my West Indies and Caribbean, however you want to say it. Shout out to all of you. I know we all say it differently. It's all love, but from the islands. And that's a part of who I am. Born in Florida, raised in many different spaces, but those are the two main aspects of who I am, right? Bahamian and American, Floridian, right? Whatever it is that you want to put in that space. So for me, identifying as Afro-Indigenous is this aspect of honoring the fact that when I think of Afro, right, it's honoring my African ancestry as well, because I know it's there. Honoring that Bahamian ancestry, right? So all things that encompasses blackness is what I think of when I think of Afro. I think of the American pieces, right? Because I know there's a difference between Black American, island Black, and Black American, right? There's differences, right? Different experiences, all these different pieces. So it's about honoring all things that are blackness. That's just black. And when I think about what indigenous means to me, right? Indigenous, think about being indigenous to the land and a way of life, a way of being, a way of thinking, a way of coming back home to self and coming back home to my true spirit, my true nature, the blood memory that vibrates in that when I'm in certain spaces and places that I feel this sense of like I'm supposed to be here, right? So it's this awakening of spirit. So so for me, that's what it means to be Afro-Indigenous. That's how I identify, right? And it might change, right? I understand as we are in certain spaces and places in our life, we begin to identify a little bit different. So I've been on this journey of really understanding just how I identify. I've been from black to African American to just Bahamian to like all these different pieces, right? And I think right now where I'm at in life is being Afro-Indigenous, and I think again it'll continue to shift, and just depending on where you are in life. So whatever you identify as, honor that, honor your culture, honor your background, honor your ancestry, your lineage, right? Regardless if your skin color is white, or whatever the case is, you have some form of culture, some form of ancestry, and it's about honoring that and where you came from, those cultural teachings, practices, all that fun stuff. So all of that to say, yes, I am an Afro-Indigenous cisgendered male, and this is my journey of embracing freedom, of embracing me, coming back home to myself, my heart, my spirit. And I want to bring that into this vlog and doing it in a way that makes sense, again, for me, and a way that that just leaves a legacy, that leaves teachings, that leaves, I don't know. I just think, you know, due to colonization, white supremacy, patriarchal violence, right? All these different things that we've all strayed away from culture, we've strayed away from who we truly are, and I hope that this vlog is able to help me come back home to myself, help you come back home to yourself, whatever that means, whatever that looks like, as we are all just, I feel like, collectively thirsty for that and collectively on that journey. So so be proud of your culture. I know there's a lot of history out there, and sometimes that can put shame on who we are, and there's just a lot, there's a vastness, there's so many factors at the end of the day. But I think when we can begin to you know, find solace, find comfort, find something, finding comfort in your culture, right, and how you identify, because I think identity is a big piece of just who we are. Speaking of identity, right, this kind of leads into the name of like Wanderous, and like where that came from, and like all these different pieces, and ultimately, dang, I had this all written down, and I will get better. I just kind of, this was just a like sit down and like let's record, like, you know, trusting and giving myself that discipline, just to kind of record. But I know the concepts and not concepts, but the ideas and stuff that I want to share. So but identity and names, right? So Wanderous is and where that name came from. There was a point in my life where for me, where I felt like on a spirit level that I was a wanderer, and I felt lost, and I felt as though my soul, my soul and my spirit just kind of, it wanders from lifetime to lifetime, and but the purpose was to like help, to just help people. But I just felt like just very, just like I was just wandering. But prior to that, I went by Soulful One, and so SOL Full One. So that, when I came up with that had to deal with, again, that aspect of like wandering, walking, right, the sole of your feet, right, just constantly moving, and like just, I was a soulful one. Like it had that, is it a double entendre, right? It had that meaning of like moving, wandering, right, being soul, but then also being like full of soul, and being a soulful one, basically, I guess you can say. So soulful, SOUL, and then also SOLE, soles of your feet, but then also a soul, right? So I went from being soulful one to being, I think, wondrous one, or something like that along that line, where again I felt like I was just wandering, and I'm like, yo, like I just feel like I'm just wandering from lifetime to lifetime, space to space, person to person, and I just kind of felt lost, that I was always giving and emitting love and light, but I didn't feel it within myself. But I was searching for it, right? And even so, that was that. And then with my name, right, Zay, Xavier, right? So Zay for short. I used to spell it Zay, and then I had a friend, my best friend now, who started spelling it Xai, and I never corrected her. I always like let her do it. Like I never was like, no, it's Zay or nothing like that, right? And at some point, I don't know when, but I like adapted the new, like just that new way of spelling it, Xai, because there was something about it, the vibration of it, that felt like I needed to step away from Zay. And yeah, something just about that vibration and feel. So, so then eventually, right, all in all, eventually, even with Wondrous, it was spelled WOND, right? So it was this whole thing. Eventually, I landed on Wondrous Zay, spelt currently as is Wondrous Zay. I don't know. I'm gonna try to edit it. Wondrous Zay. Probably won't be able to. That's so much work. We'll get the editing down, but you know, Wondrous Zay. We'll add it somewhere. And ultimately, I love the name, and I feel like it embodies who I am. And Wondrous Zay now means, again, wrote this down, but I'm gonna go off of spirit, off of intention, right? So when you think about, no, I do have to look it up really quick. So wander, so we have wander, right? When we look at the meaning of when we look at the meaning of wander, right? It's to walk or move in a leisure, casual, or aimless way. So we have that meaning, right? Wander. So that's where we're at. And then we also have wander, right? So WONDER, a feeling of surprise mingled with admiration caused by something beautiful, unexpected, unfamiliar, or inexplicable, right? Let's see. So we combine those two words, right? So wander and wonder, right? So it's this aspect of combining two words to make a healthy word, which I will talk more about. Shout out to one of my dear friends and mentors who has curated and who has developed what are called healthy words, who is also a spokesperson for Charism. I'm wearing a Charis hoodie. I will put the link in the description so you can just learn more about healthy words, Charism, and those aspects, because a lot of this vlog embodies, I hope embodies what healthy words are, and also the concept of charism and what it means to be a charis. So wondrous is this healthy word for me of what it means to live life with such amazement and such curiosity in all aspects, right? Like it's living life. Like yes, you're moving through life, right? We're all constantly moving, evolving. We have different lessons, different patterns, right? Different scenarios, whatever the case is that we're maneuvering through, right? That we are, some of it we're casually walking through, some of it we gotta walk real fast, right? Whatever the case is, some of it we gotta run to, right? So it's this aspect of like I'm wandering through life with amazement, with curiosity, with this thrillness, like this excitement, like, yeah, I get to live life, right? So I've evolved from this person that has felt lost in life and felt like I was just aimlessly just walking through and just like just getting by, to this person who is now like, yo, like life is beautiful, and I can see the beauty in all of it, even when we feel that, oh, life is this and life is hard and all these different pieces. I'm just to that point now where it's like, no, I feel there's so much beauty in life. There's so much, I can see the beauty in people. I can see the beauty in connection with the land and all these different pieces. So that's what it, for me, and I know this definition will continue to evolve, shift, and change and grow as I continue to develop as a person, and continue to heal layers of myself, right? That it'll continue to shift and change. But ultimately, living wondrously and living a wondrous life is, yes, you are walking through life. You are maneuvering through life with excitement, with curiosity, with this thrill of getting to be on this adventure, and being able to embrace all aspects of it, the ups, downs, the lefts, right, the twists and turns, right, embracing all of it with curiosity, embracing all of it with this excitement of like, yes, like I get to go through this, right? As crappy as that sounds, I know I don't want to push, I don't want to say toxic positivity, because I don't like the word I don't know, just a whole thing, unhealthy positivity, right? I don't want to push unhealthy positivity. It's, really truly embracing life in that way, with some enthusiasm. So again, this vlog and this journey of being able to do this is just like, yo, like we're living, yo, like we came from a place where we were just literally, where we felt lost, where we didn't know who we were, where we felt unsure, all these different pieces. And in this moment, like I can like smile about it, because I know my journey and the things that I've been through and had to overcome. And yes, I'm only 28, but I know on a spirit and soul level, the places that I was in, there were times and moments where I didn't believe that I could come out of it, and here I am, right? I wasn't always this person or individual that viewed life in a beautiful way. I felt lost, I felt confused, and I know that now, I know that I'm not the only one that has felt that way, and I'm not the only one that has gotten through it. And I guess this is again just my way of being able to connect with my heart, my spirit, and with all of you, right? This beautiful reciprocity, this beautiful relationship, right? That that for those that do feel that they are on that other spectrum, right, of like, yo, I just feel so lost, and I feel like, what am I supposed to do, and who am I, and all the different pieces. And it doesn't matter how old you are, we can feel that way. And I think like that's so important to acknowledge, that it doesn't matter. And I think so often we feel like we're supposed to be somewhere at a certain age, and I hear it and felt it and see it so often, and it's not true. Society has really done a number on all of us, and so society's done a number on us. And I also too want to acknowledge the privilege that I have when it comes to the level of awareness and self-work that I am at and do and on, and the privilege and access that I have to certain things, right? Because I understand that not everyone has that access to certain things and certain environments and places that can really help them find their heart and come back home to themselves. So I really, really want to acknowledge my privilege, because I think so often that is not honored and not recognized when there are people trying to be motivational, or like, you know, all these different pieces. And there's there's also that aspect of yeah, like I just want to acknowledge that, the privilege that I have, and I'm well aware of that. And I know some people hold that, like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and you can do it. If you make it out, you can. Like, yes, no, I don't want to even say yes, but like, we have to really respect everyone's journey and understand that some people are more privileged to certain things than others. And yes, even as brown and black folk, as indigenous folk, right? Some of us are more privileged to certain things, but there is this aspect of beginning to. It doesn't have to be this one thing that we're all privileged to is our heart and our spirit. And I think that is the biggest message and push, is that one thing we all have privilege to is our heart and our spirit. And I think sometimes, we get so caught up on this aspect of like, oh, I'm on this spiritual journey of trying to find myself and this and that and this and that. But it's like, you know, at the end of the day, you are spirit already. Like, so you being you is already enough. And I think that is so powerful. And I think that isn't said enough, and that message isn't pushed enough. That this whole idea of a spiritual journey, we're already living. We're already spirits. We're spirits having a human experience. So, I don't know. Man. So this is really just, I guess, this vlog is about the thoughts, ideas, shares that kind of go on throughout my mind, and that I journal, that I have conversations I have with friends, right? But also I guess just broadcasting it in that way, or sharing in that way. So yeah, so that's kind of, I don't know, man. This will be a fun little journey, you know. So again, you know, there's that aspect of yeah, starting this whole thing and being on this adventure has been it'll be fun, and I'm looking forward to it. But I really just want to like anchor myself and anchor those that are on this journey with me, you know, to the purpose, and to a little bit about the name, a little bit about me, right? Why is it called A Wondrous Life, you know, from Afro-Indigenous perspective, right? Kind of giving some of those pieces of, you know, where the name comes from. And I think too, what I sit with is the power of a name, the power of words. And again, I'm going to shout out Healthy Words. I really, again, will continue to promote healthy words and charism the best way I can, right? With good intention and pure heart. This is something that we all can live, embody, and embrace. And, you know, it's really just about, like, shifting the narrative, because our language is so riddled in hurt and pain, and there's so much power in language and words and the frequency that we emit through our voice. And I'm finding that out, you know, on my journey. So This is really about helping us to shift our lens, shift the way we see ourselves, shift the way we see the world around us, and tapping into our spirit, and tapping in to our heart, or not even tapping into our spirit, but really, yeah, being more aligned with it in our own little way and doing whatever it is that we need, you know. And also too, I think a part of it is to really help, like, I think I said this in the first vlog as well, is like, I feel like when it comes to certain aspects that are put out in terms of like media, there's still again so much pain and so much hurt, and I know there's a wavelength of people that have, there's also been this, I can go on this can be a whole nother vlog, but there's also been this inauthenticity when it comes to people that are putting out work that is about healing. There is still this patriarchal narrative that comes out, this pull yourself up by your bootstraps, this all these other things that are that are just, that aren't conducive to true healing and what that means and looks like. And I guess the way you can know is off of, I don't even want to say how you feel. I don't know. I have to like get comfortable, because I feel like that might be another vlog for me to explore once I kind of like get my thoughts and pieces out. But I do see that there is, and there has been like this really big uptake in swing in just people monetizing off of indigenous practices and teachings, and whether that is sage and smudging, right? There is not the acknowledgement of our First Nations, American Indian, our native relatives, and the sacredness of that medicine that is not being expressed or honored when people are utilizing it. It's been commercialized, and it's this mass production of it, right? And I see a lot of that. I see a lot of when it comes to things like tarot cards and readings and all these different pieces, I see how people are utilizing it, and it's no dig, or there's no, I don't want to say, I'm going to speak my truth, and ultimately there's something within me that gets frustrated, that gets, again, annoyed when there's this just the way that there doesn't seem to be that sacredness. And it's like, these are practices that for generations on generations that help people to elevate their hearts and elevate themselves, and to heal themselves and to heal each other collectively, because there's this understanding that each and every one of us has a collective gift, a collective aspect that can help support each other in a very meaningful way. And it just seems like where we are in the world is that because there is so much hurt, because there's so much pain, because people are so lost, right? We're all just kind of, everyone's just kind of grasping onto things, and then there's certain people that are grasping onto things that are meant for healing, and the energy that is there is very dark and very, it's not helpful. And then that continues to perpetuate the demonization of sacred practices, right? Because people aren't honoring where they come from, they aren't doing it with good intention, and they aren't moving from their heart space. So for me, this is another piece of like why this vlog, because and I'm not saying I'm perfect by all means, we all mess up. and that's a part of being human. We all will say things, do things, right, that someone doesn't agree with, and this whole idea of I'm going to straight up cancel somebody for the thing that they just said just baffles me. And I understand that because the social media things just kind of just shoots out, gets out fast. But I digress. To each his own, right? And I will say yes, that at some point, right, that I was also part of it. No, you can't say that. It's a part of our growth, our evolution. So I honor that, right? That if that's where we are in life right now, there's a cancel culture, whatever. But ultimately, but I will say there is an aspect of respect that needs to be there, an aspect of speak your truth, but also you can speak your truth in a way that can be respectful, and also there's a way that we can all coexist while having different beliefs. We're not all meant to think, feel, act the same exact way as robots. So ultimately, this space, the intention is really to shed light on the batteries dying on this thing, is to shed light on just what it means to walk with light, how we can get back to that light within ourselves, and honoring the sacredness of our indigenous ways, practices, things like that, and being able to do my best to, again, help support that mission and help support just what I feel my heart and spirit is meant to do. And I also believe too, as a male, again, Afro-Indigenous male, being able to bring my voice into this space as well, in terms of what masculinity means, look like, the energy of it. So for those that have been able to just kind of follow me along this journey, I appreciate you, and that have sat through this. Again, for those that watch 2 seconds again, I honestly am proud of myself, and I'm going to continue to be proud of myself. So you, Xavier Wanderers, say I am proud of you for who you are and who you are becoming. And I hope that you can watch this one day and smile about it, and just be proud of you and the journey that you've embarked on. So with that, I appreciate you. I appreciate those that are watching. So when I say you, that you is me, and that you is also those watching. So I am proud of you and all that you are. And you deserve to be happy. You deserve to embrace the light and the dark that you are, because duality is everything. Duality, multiality, I don't even know, but we're complex, and I think that's what makes us all so beautiful. So appreciate you for sticking out this long and riding a wave with me. Again, this really was to kind of set an anchor and anchor us into this channel. We've had some shares before, right? Some different videos. So we'll continue to push forward and push through. There are also people that have been a part of this journey that I will periodically bring their energy into this space as well. And we can't live a wondrous life without having that support along the way. Yes, we do. Sometimes we have to be soulful and walk that journey alone. Always another meaning of soulful, right? Walk that journey alone. Wander for a little bit, but eventually along that way you begin to find people that can help you evolve, shift, and grow your name, and eventually help you get to a point where you feel like you can live wondrously, and you feel like you no longer want to make yourself small. So that's what this is all about. We're making ourselves big, we're expanding, we're evolving, we're spreading our wings, and embracing it with authenticity, because our ancestors paved the way for us to get here. So why not make the most out of it, and why not understand that we are the ancestors of tomorrow? So why not make the best out of it and pave the way for the new generation? And that's kind of where I'm at, paving the way in the generation for paving the way for the next 7 generations, right? It starts now, it starts with us. So or who our ancestors prayed for, and I take that to heart. So that's a big part of this vlog and this journey. So alright, man, peace and love to all of you. Should I get up and walk away? Get up and walk away. I don't know. I need like a sign out. Like, you know, some people are like, peace, and they do it. I don't know. I need a sign out. So whatever y'all think our sign out should be. And then, you know, some people have like, what should our community be called? Right? All that. I'm teasing, but it's fun, you know. But there is that aspect too of like, yo, like what should this is the wanderous community. And then you add your own name to it, wanderous whoever, right? This isn't, you know, this is for all of us.